Yo, let's get on with part 25 of the 999 playthrough. This is the 5th playthrough. We're going for a different certain ending. So let's just get right to it. Junpei, Clover, and Lotus left out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them. All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one he could feel his body begin to calm down. "All right, let's go." They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked. Soon they had tried all of the doors but one. The final door sat in a corner of the hallway. Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to Jumpy! She spun around. There at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running towards him. 3 of them. June, Santa, and Seven. They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air. "Hey! What are you guys doing here?" "What? But we didn't..." Before he could finish, Clover spoke. Guys, could you come over here?" She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found. There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway. A map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. Most likely, they assumed it was a map for the floor they were on. Door 7 and Door 8. The map confirmed what they'd already knew. Both doors had eventually led them to the hallway where they'd found themselves. In fact... "Yeah, isn't that what I said? Till we find that 9 door, Zero ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we can't open door 9. That's how the nonary game works." Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness. One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. As one, they all moved back towards the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open. He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5. "Ready? I'm gonna open it." They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were. They were just where the map had said they would be. The same room they'd been in not so very long ago. The tremendous central hospital room, with empty beds from wall to wall. Text skippy time. We've gotten back to Ace, and yeah, we got through the doors, found a key. The key? Isn't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here. Seven tossed something small and metallic towards Junpei. He caught it and found that the object was a key. On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol. "I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?" "Yeah, got it." "Well, I've got something for you too, then." "Here, it's the Saturn key card. We found it in the kitchen. I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost." And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. The Earth key, which had been found in the laboratory. The Jupiter key, which 7 had just handed to Junpei. The Saturn key card, which Lotus had also just handed Junpei. Doesn't say also, but I said it anyway. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up. "The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long straight hallway, right?" "Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase." "Then next to the stairs..." "Wait. They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words. What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It'd just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point in seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me. There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at 7 as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like... Okay, I shouldn't skip these. Yeah, Snakebite would be on the other side of 3. And from what we already know from the other 4 playthroughs, yes, he is. Maybe. Okay, so Ace, 7, I believe, and Clover are going. And now me, Junpei, Lotus, June, and 7 are exploring. Asking you if there's any reason we came back? Of course there's a reason. And it's because of the keys, obviously. Keyhole on the things. Split into 2 teams, me and June, and then Santa and Lotus. Alright. It opened. Look, Chumpy. Let's get going. And then she's kind of scared. Let's just go with they could only go down. She was afraid because the only elevator button pointed down. That might be below deck and underwater, therefore. But, yeah, there's actually no problem. So let's go down to E deck. Pufferfish. Oh. Alright, and now we see a grate, and we see door 6 over there. You guys found door 1, and we found 6. Alrighty then. Where are we going? Oh yeah, we went back to the big hospital room, and 7's like, where did we go? And then we just kind of... Snake is dead. Just as he died, just as the Nightman did. Holy shit. Death. Smells horrible. Blood smell. Looking over at it. For a moment he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. Clover sad. Chances were that 2 people at least killed him, threw him in there. 81 seconds. Boom. And anybody could be the killer. Could be 2 of us. But Ace suggests that Zero only wants us to believe that he's going to kill him. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Let's go with Junpei wasn't sure. It said this ship. Thus indicating that he were probably on this ship. Alrighty then. I think Clover thinks Zero's one of us. And, well, that's possible. That Zero could be one of us, and he's got a good reason. The bracelets. And if he's somewhere else, then why would he need remote control bracelets? Eh? So then, he's got a question for Ace. He said, Zero must be the one who killed Snake. And so what do we get if we combine that and the bracelets? They fit together pretty well, something like this. Whoever killed Snake is equal to 0, which is equal to one of us. And 7 and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. If 0 is one of us. But then he fails to come up with a reason for why 0 would be going with them. Alrighty then. Go down. Standing in front of door 2. Alright, now we've got the notes to choose which door to go through. And for this playthrough, we must go through door 6. Fighting erupts over what door to go to. And apparently for the combination of having gone through door 1, or door 5, then door 8, we have not done door 2. Or door 2 would have some significant different dialogue than it would otherwise. But this playthrough, for this ending, requires that we go through door 6. I want to go through door 6. Shows door 6. And, well, you guys are going to have to deal with it. The team of me, or Junpei, Santa, June, and Ace will be going through door 6. And then, I guess this team of Seven, Lotus, and Clover will be going through... I didn't pay attention, so hold on. 15 plus 4 is 19, so no, they can't do that. At last, Junpei and the other 6 had managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Oh, wait. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to A deck, where door 1 was near the main staircase. Oh, never mind. Junpei and the other 6. Junpei, June, Ace, and Santa, however, took the elevator to E deck. The ride to E deck was a silent one. Alright, let's go. Santa's words jolted them to action, and they stepped out of the elevator into a long, straight hallway. Before long, they arrived in front of door 6, and they scan, pull, open door, holy shit dead, but it's basically right there, and it stopped. So, this is that steam engine puzzle that we've only done once before in the playthrough, or in the Let's Play. And then June's kind of got her fever coming back, so worry. Seek a way out. So, steam engine. Let's see if we can remember how to do this. This is where you put coal in the furnace. Okay, so we'd have to put coal in there, which is up here, I believe. We don't need that yet. Yours has an 8 in it. Go through to the other side. So we're on the other side of the engine now. The catwalk. On the catwalk, yeah. I'm doing my little turn on the catwalk. I feel like I've made that joke already, but oh well. Give the wheel a spin. Holy shit. Wheel! I have one. Let's just put that wheel right here. There it fits. Wait. We have to spin it now. And then it turns to the left, so we bring it down, not up. Talking about how we gotta get her out of there, out of this situation, because it's just, you know, so stressful. And now here's something different, apparently. It does seem like a possibility, you know? Hold on. We're just running around this room solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual. How the hell can you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs, Santa snorted in disgust. A guinea pig? You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying? Dunno, but it does seem like a possibility, you know? With that, he turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. You know, speaking of experiments, Santa suddenly stopped. There was this experiment some scientists did with rats. First, they took a square C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown. The tank has 2 exits, A and B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything. Exit B, however, is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So what would a rat do if it was put in this situation? Which exit would the rat choose? There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded. B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified. Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. So after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A. I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment. You're right, it isn't very interesting. Yet. These scientists repeated this experiment over and over, using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation of rats, they took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in a tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But even that wasn't the most impressive thing. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory far away from the original one with the same results. No, on second thoughts, the results weren't really the same. The rats in the second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial experiment. These rats were not related to the rats used in the first experiment and never even come in contact with them. And yet, they all easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What did it mean? Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium? Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him. How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story is true, and if you got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone. Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you. Santa stopped and turned around. Why'd they use that tank for the experiment? Or why'd they use that tank for the experiment? Huh? Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown? Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh. You know the word emergency comes from the same root as the word emerge? You ever think about that? Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous, and to emerge means to sort of come out or appear, or rise out of something else. So what's gonna emerge in an emergency? Inspiration. Inspiration? Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need. So, in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That's where the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge. Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Let's go and get that coal. Wait, it's right there. Okay, that's not coal. But it will be used to get coal. Put that thing in, push the button, and now shit tons of coal. Wait. Over. Wait, again. Okay, I need this. There's nothing. Okay. I thought I needed it. But I was wrong. Hold that allowed to put coal, and then we put coal in it. What am I supposed to do? Thought about look. Oh, okay. I forgot for a second. I didn't pay attention. Is this ignite the furnace? Hopefully. Oh yeah. That's 3 discs. Up here. Wait, nope, 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 I was wrong. Down here. Got that height, that angle. It's perfect. Perfect? Perfect for what? Whatever, just bring Clover here right now. Tell her she needs to walk up and down these stairs. Huh? Clover's not... What the hell is he talking about? I really wonder about that. Considering the thing of, like... Remember in the coffin ending where Clover talked about how Santa was part of a thing. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Alrighty then. The red lines on these discs. I think maybe I can make a star polygon with these. It probably had 9 points too. You found it! Alright, now we've opened. And I'll go get June. You okay? And then she's feeling fine. And then let's go. We got the exit open, so yeah. And then Santa's reminiscing about his sister. Santa simply nodded. Yeah. Kid was cute as a button. June cocked her head, confused. She was only about an inch tall then? Santa glared at her. Sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like a half inch? Santa didn't smile or laugh. He simply turned back to his picture and spoke. I was a Santa Claus. This sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either. We didn't have parents. They bought it in an accident when we were still kids, so I had to be like a dad. And that meant I bought Christmas presents every year. On Christmas Eve, I'd leave the present next to a pillow. And the next morning, she'd come running in my room with this big smile. Look! Santa left me a present! Santa got me that doll I really wanted! I'm so glad that he got the letter I wrote! I was the one who told her to write those letters. I'd say, write down something you want and mail it to Santa. The address I gave her was somewhere in Northern Europe that doesn't exist. Anyway, she'd write the letters and stamp it and send it out. And then a few days later, it'd show up back in our mailbox, marked address unknown. I'd opened the letters before she'd figured out they'd been sent back. Once I had the letter, I'd go around to a couple stores with some money I saved up over the year and buy her the stuff she'd asked for. It took a lot of saving, but I managed to buy her presents every year. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June looked down, uncomfortable. The wall next to him suddenly groaned. Either he hadn't heard the sound or didn't care. Santa kept talking. But one year, her letter was different. She didn't write a list of toys she wanted or anything like that. Instead, it said, I don't want any presents this year. Instead, I want you to make my wish come true. My wish is that we'll be happy like this for a really, really a long time. But I couldn't make that wish come true. Some Santa I am. Santa looked sad. Junpei had never seen him look sad before. He wasn't sure he liked it. Junpei decided it was probably best not to ask Santa any more questions. But what happened? June glanced up at Santa quickly as she spoke. He answered, but only with an effort. She died. She was killed. 9 years ago. Oh shit! Oh fuck. This is unskippable text. I don't remember this happening the last time I played this part. There was nothing Junpei could say. His heart felt like a great lump of lead. June bit her lip and looked away. Her face was pale. Alright, let's go. Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back in his pocket and headed back up the stairs, taking them two at a time. Junpei and June looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say. Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on! Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them. They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired. The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern. Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time, and the door opened once again. In single file, they walked through. After walking for nearly 15 feet, they found themselves in front of a metal door. It opened easily enough, and they passed through it as well. A new room stretched out before them. Is this a warehouse? No, I believe this is the cargo room. This must be where they store all of this vessel's freight. There are wooden crates everywhere. I wonder how old they are. Junpei, Ace, and June had stopped unconsciously, pausing to take in their new surroundings. Santa's voice broke through their momentary trance. Well, we probably ought to start with finding the exit, right? Let's get going. Seek a way out. Search all of these bags. We still don't know fucking jack shit about the ninth man. Oh yeah. I knew there was a card near one of these. And that's 9. They'd finally collected all 9 picture cards. All that remained was to insert the cards into the slot at the front of each box. And let's just... obviously each number one... Hold on. Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. Just then... Junpei heard a noise. He spun around, just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence. June! Are you okay? She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace. I'm sorry, I gotta go check on her. You do the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you. He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off towards June. Are you alright? What happened? Junpei called out to her as he ran. As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Santa's help. I'm sorry. I'm fine. I just tripped. Don't give me that. Now's not the time. But it's true. I tripped over a box. Junpei put his palm on her forehead. Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone. I saw a fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know? Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up. Still, to fall down like that, I think she's probably still a little messed up. June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off of her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a bit flushed, but she did look a great deal better than she had. Still. Alright, well, let's get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital. Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious. I just need a little medicine and some sleep and I'll be fine. Medicine? Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I bet Ace could swing that for you easy. Ace? Or Ace? Why? Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company. Cradle Pharmaceutical is the name, I think. And now your mind's blown. At least a little. Admit it, if you haven't already seen this. The flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soporil. Soporil? Soporil? Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soporil before. Santa continued. Soporil. Soporil is an anesthetic that's gaseous at room temperature similar to nitrous oxide. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount's very effective. For these reasons, it found widespread acceptance with police and military forces in numerous countries. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer, and it's practical, ethical, and humane. Developed 6 years prior, it was made from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Soporil skyrocketed, and as it did, so did the stock of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Why do you know all this? Santa's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Santa's reply was blunt and simple. I heard it from the old man himself. From Ace? When? By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second-class room. Remember how Snake, 7, and you went to door 5? I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and... well, I guess it just came up, you know? Are you worried about something? No, nothing. As he spoke, Junpei looked over towards Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes. What the hell is he doing? He turned back to June and Santa. June, don't push yourself, alright? Yes. Santa, could you take care of her? Sure. He gave them both a short nod and then turned and headed towards Ace. What are you doing? Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat. What happened? Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry. I think perhaps because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment. What can't you see well? These pictures. Ace held the card out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan. I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia. Growing old is a difficult thing. He made the best attempt he could at a self-depreciating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn. At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you. I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit. He shoved the cards into Junpei's hand and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically. How could simply looking at cards have tired him out? Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad? But if it wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable? That was when Junpei remembered what he'd heard from Lotus much earlier. Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look like the same as Clover's or even yours, so they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Maybe he's got prosopagnosia. Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs, looking quite depressed. It was reasonable, of course, that he'd feel that way. If he really did have prosopagnosia, there was no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best that he keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being. Oh well. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back towards the boxes. It was time to solve the puzzle of the 9 boxes. 9 cards with pictures and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them for a moment and then began. Ace's card went into box 1, then Snake's went into 2. Okay, let's start skipping. 9 pins. Let's see if we can do this before 40 minutes are up. Not that I have a time limit, but still. And then 4, 5, 6 would be 10, 15, which would be 6. Same as that, so it would basically do nothing. Let's do 4, 5, 7. Something for 8 would be either something adding up to 8, obviously, or 17. So let's go with 7, 4, that's 11, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 6, and then something to add up to 5, so 14 or 5, which 5 isn't possible, so 14, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 1 and, let's do 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, okay, 10 obviously. 2, 4, no, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. So 4, 6, 1. And then 3 and 4. So 13 and 14. Or not 13. 13 and 12. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 6. Up who? Let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. Is that puzzle solved? Oh, fuck this puzzle. I was doing so well. Okay, so we've got 9 holes, and there's an F above them. So, the F is the hexadecimal 15, which we've run into hexadecimal so many times. So, what belongs in the middle, I forget, I think it's 5. And then all you gotta do after that is get 10s around here. So it would be like 1 and 9. I don't think 9 would go there. 1 and 9. Simply because that would mean it'd have to connect to like 2 other lines. And that would be a bitch. And I don't think it's actually possible if I remember right. 4 and 6. That's already 15. 4, 6. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is 2. And therefore this is 8, maybe? Yeah, 8. And then 6, 7, 8. Let's try this. Fuck yeah! I never did that well at this puzzle. We did it. The power's on now. Let's go for this. Green button, red button, lever. This one's gonna be a bitch. How the fuck did I do this the first time? Yeah, that's wrong. Feel like that's wrong too. Yep, most assuredly. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go watch my first video. There it is. Until next time. Peace out.